Hi, I'm Tisha,
I'm Loren.
and this is the Open Booked podcast. Today we are talking about Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I was like, what is the
Yes.
name of it? But first, what are you reading?
So, um, I'll start by a little story. I've been seeing all over TikTok these videos of people being like, when book talks freaking out about books, but you're reading other books, and it's Shield of Sparrows and Silver Elite. So, I finished this book. I had FOMO like a motherfucker. Um, so I finished this book last night and immediately started Shield of Sparrows. It's on KU.
Okay.
I got to like chapter 5 or 6 before I was dozing off. Starting off good. I'm really, really into it. So I'm reading that
Okay.
on my Kindle. I'm not listening to an audiobook right now. About to have to drive to Branson though, right after this, so I'm gonna have to pick one out. So I don't know. It's a little early to start Silver Elite, because spoiler alert, we're gonna be covering that soon. So I want it to be fresh when we cover it. So I may just find another like filler romance or thriller to throw in there for my drive. But I started that on KU and I already am hooked. So I'm assuming Book Talk's not gonna let me down. What about you?
I'm actually not reading anything right now. I finished Great Big Beautiful Life on Friday and haven't found anything else. You should listen to Keep It in the Family.
Keep It in the Family? Is it on
Yeah, that one I
Everand?
was telling you about.
I haven't
It's
canceled it yet.
on, no, it's on KU and
Oh.
Audible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Keep It in the Family.
Yeah. That's the one I was telling you was like, what the fuck the whole time.
John
It was
Mars?
so good. Yeah.
It says one
So good.
credit. I guess I need to go to Kindle.
Yeah. I went to Kindle and then it said that it had the audio too. And it like something messed up, but I just went over there and it said it was free. So I was like, okay.
Okay, read and listen for free. Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. You just have to go if it's a Kindle Unlimited Audible, you have to go through KU. You can't go through Audible. But then it
Yeah.
just showed up in my Kindle library. This is a mess. Can we just combine the apps?
Right. We know they're owned by the same person, same company, same everything. So just mesh it all together.
Yeah.
Thanks. So yeah, I haven't picked anything else to read yet, but we've got a long day of travel ahead, so I'm sure I'll find something to listen to while driving and riding. So we did change things up on you guys. We said we weren't going to cover a book, but realized I've got a trip coming up, so we have to get a book in and still do our conspiracy theories. So that is coming. It's just not today. So
It'll
sorry.
be next time.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about it. I've already started. I'm very excited. I think Tisha's picked her topics. I've picked mine.
I've picked one. I'm still debating between two because they're both going to be very controversial, and I might go with the lesser of two evils just so we don't get canceled because
Hey, if we're
a lot
canceled,
of people
haters make us
take it
famous.
personal. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited though. I think it'll be fun.
yeah.
Everyone knows how I feel about mine, so I don't really. Well, one of mine I don't know if I believe or not, but I just want to present the facts and have fun with it. One of them I will die on the hill, and I've talked about it 10 times, so no one's gonna be shocked. Anyone who makes any comments on Facebook about it, I'm in that shit every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So not gonna be a big shock, but okay. You want to yap a bit before we get into this
Yeah.
book? Okay, Silver Elite, we've already talked about it. We're going to be covering it in a couple weeks. Funny story, I didn't even realize it was going to be this book talk sensation, okay? I was going to pick my book of the month, not sponsored, but we would love to be a book of the month if you're listening. Yes. We love it. But I went to pick it and it was like, and I was like, oh, cool. Romantasy sprayed edges adds to cart. Know nothing else about it. You can pay $2 extra or something and get the sprayed edges. And I was like, done. I love me some sprayed edges. You can see behind me right now. I love them. So I was like, cool, let's do that. And then I'm on TikTok and all I see is this fucking book and how good it is. Then I see a bunch of people saying, like, there is no way that this Danny Francis person is a person. They think, here's what Book Talk thinks, okay? And I'm inclined to believe them. They think Danny Francis is a pen name for either an author who wants to do a rebrand or is just fucking around and having fun. There's two major theories on who it is. And I'll tell you why people think that this is not a no-name author. Number one, they can't find record of a Danny Francis anywhere, no name, so it's pretty clearly a pen name, which a lot of authors do, so that's not like
Mhm.
super weird. But this Danny Francis has not published any other books, supposedly. I have not done my own
Mhm.
research on this. This is just a bunch of videos I've been seeing, so if I'm wrong, blame all the videos on TikTok. Um, not published any other books, and then the amount of backing and bankrolling that has gone into this book going out, it couldn't be a nobody, right? So like
Yeah.
this is Onyx Storm level advertising, I want to say. And everyone's like, oh, all these people are getting paid to post these raving reviews. I have seen probably 10 book talkers say, I did not get paid. I had some publishing company or person representative reach out to me and say, pretty much, what's your address? I want to send you a book. You're not even required to post about the book. Emma, one of our favorite book talkers, I just saw her video this morning. She said, I'm posting about this book because I love it. No one gave me any money. No one even required me to post a review. They sent it to me for free. And I saw several along the same tune. I'm not getting paid to do this. I got sent the book for free. Everyone's admitting they sent thousands of arcs, it sounds like, to book talkers with no
Mhm.
expectation to even post. That's either someone who's very, very confident that that book is just so good that they're going to get good reviews, or it's a well-known author. That's what I think. I think it is. Now, you might ask, who would need to change their name because their image is in the fucking dirt? Coho.
Colleen Hoover. Yep.
A ton of people think it's Colleen Hoover. I think the real cohorts will figure it out if it is. I haven't started it yet, but I am confident that if I read it, I would be able to distinguish if it was her or not. There's certain things.
Yeah.
Just like if it was Sarah J. Mass, okay? Let's say it's Sarah J. Mass picking invisible lint, smiling without hitting his eyes. Like, that's in every one of her books. Coho always has certain things. She has a really big hook. And then, like, every book has a hook, a really good one, which I mean, a lot of authors do, but I just feel like we would be able to tell. The other
Yeah.
author people think that it is Elsie Silver. Elsie Silver is very much contemporary romance, cowboy, with Teddy Hamilton narrating. So I don't know why she would need to do a pen name. Maybe just because she wants to have fun and do a different genre. She's not controversial that I've seen. Like, no one hates her, no one's hating on her. So maybe it would be more of a, hey, I want to enter a different genre, but if it fails, I don't want it to be associated with my name. So let's just throw this Danny Francis out. I don't know. What do you think?
So I went to Reddit, and
Mm-hmm.
people have theories, of course. First one that I clicked on says it's JLA. I'm like, the fuck no.
No.
She's already an established romantic writer. She's not gonna change the game by starting this new name. Somebody said Stephen King. Somebody said Brandon Sanderson, which I
Brandon
could see.
Sanderson. I could see that one. Yeah.
Elle Kennedy. She
She's
has
very
written.
contemporary romance.
She's written under another pen name, Aaron Watt, before.
Okay.
Elsie Silver, she's Canadian and has the same agent, Kimberly Brower.
Oh, it's the same agent.
Paisley. Yeah.
Okay.
Which I was looking just to see who the publisher is because I haven't seen anything that says who the publisher is.
Did you see it? Did you find it?
Mm-mm. Penguin Random House.
Del Rey? Random House audio publication. Random House did the audio. Del Rey released a hardcover.
Mm.
Penguin Random House. Yeah.
So they've got to be banking on this being a huge book. Allie Hazelwood wrote a like blurb for it.
She did. Danny Francis is a rock star. I'm so happy she's bringing dystopia back. Okay, where is Allie Hazelwood's publishing company? Allie Hazelwood is known to be a STEM contemporary romance author, which we love her too.
Yeah.
Publisher.
Emma's video is like one of the first
Penguin.
ones that shows up.
Yeah, she's under Penguin. Yeah, Emma was very clear, like, I didn't get paid to do this. I got sent the book for free, but I fucking love the book.
Yeah, I saw that just so we're clear.
Yeah, yeah.
But I saw her post about it like right after we recorded last week. I was scrolling TikTok and she posted and she was like, okay, this. And I was like, okay, maybe something to look into later. And then I went to pick my book of the month and it was there too. I was like, do I want to? I was like, I'm just in a mood. I'm going to pick something I know I love and we'll read again. So I picked Wayward.
Yeah, I told Tisha I'm very much a okay, if there's a thriller, romantasy, or contemporary romance, I'm just gonna pick the book
Yeah.
and don't really read much about it. The cover looks cool, sprayed edges, bet, let's go. Which book of the month used to not do sprayed edges. I have 2 or 3 now that are, so they're getting in the game. They realize that people will buy multiple copies,
Oh yeah.
me, to have sprayed edges. I have 3 versions of, I mean, and this is weak sauce compared to some of these book talkers. I have 3 versions of Fourth Wing, and there are people that have 20. I'm not kidding. So
Yeah.
they know that that's where the money's at. So I don't know. I want to have my theory after we read it.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to try and figure that out because it's 528 pages. It was literally just published on May 6th. Today is May 11th, Mother's Day, 5 days ago, and it is blown up.
They said like people are comparing this to when Fourth Wing came out. So
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know if I told the story when we were covering the book, but all I saw, and I wasn't even like super deep into book talk yet. I had just read like ACOTAR. I was reading stuff, but I wasn't like following book talkers or bookstagrammers. I was just like reading shit that I got recommended from friends or that I found on Audible. Like I wasn't like deep in yet.
Hmm.
Obviously reading 100 books a year, but not like based on what I saw online, based on what I found. And all I saw was Fourth Wing. You can't find copies anywhere. It's sold out. People reselling copies for $200. I'm walking through the airport in Palm Springs, California for a work thing, and I saw one copy, and I just fucking bought it. Read it on the plane, devoured it, like obsessed, and was like, okay, now I get it. And this is giving, I agree, the same vibes. Like it's very much like they gave so many arcs out that people were hyping this up on launch day. So either Penguin just killed the marketing game and this is somebody's debut romantasy, or it's somebody we know and has the resources to do that. I don't know how an up and coming author without a trust fund would have the resources to do what
No, no
do
way.
this.
Yeah. And like you go to her, Danny, I'm assuming her, just
Yeah.
the way it's spelled, Danny Francis's Goodreads profile, and they have one book with 589 followers. It says Danny Francis is an avid reader, a lover of all things breakfast, and a hopeless romantic. When she, okay, is not creating high stakes fantasy worlds and complex characters, you can find her spending time with family or trying to figure out why the printer never works.
So vague. It doesn't say where she's from. Most of them say spend time with family in her hometown in Iowa.
Yeah, or husband, blah blah blah, and kids, or 2 sons and a daughter, or a dog, or all these things. And I'm sure we'll eventually figure it out, but I think we're kind of on the right track between Elsie Silver and Colleen Hoover. I could also see it being Brandon Sanderson or another man. Just, ooh, you know who it could also be? Which I don't know why they would switch genders. What's his face that does all of the Tamlin videos with the long hair? Is it Steven?
Curly hair?
Because, no, no, he's got the longer hair, like long, like my length, long, light brown hair.
I don't know.
I think it's Steven something, but I could see it being him because he said he was writing a book. I'm gonna have to find him.
So I'm looking. This is what I just did while we're talking. I went to Penguin Random House and looked up all the authors
Mm-hmm.
that are the best sellers. Emily Henry, Allie Hazelwood. I'm just trying to think of people we know. The rest of these people, I have no clue they are. So they must write real shit. Can I filter to nonfiction or to fiction only, please? Okay, so the biggest ones that I'm seeing are Allie Hazelwood, Emily Henry. Okay, speaking of Emily Henry, we're covering her today. See, this is a great mystery right now. This is fun. This is what I like to do. So I think we'll have much better guesses
For sure.
once we read it and feel the style, because at this time I haven't read any Elsie Silver. So I feel like we may need to do like I've seen that TikTok clip that's like Teddy Hamilton talking a fucking test level and everyone's obsessed with it. And it's
Okay, yeah.
cowboy romance, which my vibe. So maybe we should talk about covering some Elsie Silver too to get a full.
Yeah.
hypothesis. At this point, I have read every single Emily Henry book and every single Colleen Hoover book. Some of the Colleen Hoover books multiple times. So I feel like if it's Colleen Hoover or Emily Henry, I will be able to figure it out. Elsie Silver, I'm not educated enough on her.
Yeah, me either.
But I've heard great things. Cowboy Smut, say less.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've read any Elsie Silver.
I have neither. I think I have some. But apparently this is very like dystopian, post-apocalyptic style book, which is very millennial. So this tells me this author's younger. That's my opinion.
Yeah, because
it's very millennial.
It says this is what happens when Divergent, The Hunger Games, X-Men, and Minority Report get into an anonymous telepathic group chat moderated by Meg Ryan.
Millennial. This person's our age. Or a little older.
Yeah.
40 tops.
Yeah. But literally every review, favorite book of the year, infinite stars. This book is my Roman Empire. 6-star read. It was incredible. But then on May 7th, reading this book felt like a Death Eater kept performing the Cruciatus curse on my poor innocent body for 500 pages.
That's a Harry Potter nerd, so also millennial.
Yeah. Oh, y'all are going to go feral for this one. Divergent meets Fourth Wing without the dragons, and the FMC is not a weakling. She's an absolute badass. That's Emma's.
See, Emma, we need to be friends. I need to know what town in Arkansas you live in because we should be friends.
We need to meet up.
We need to meet Emma. Yeah,
and have her on the pod.
We should DM her, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah. Emma, we're big fans.
I'm going to do that today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, Silver Elite, much more to come on this. We are definitely covering it. My book of the month is delayed, so I don't even have it in yet.
Mine too.
Okay, so it must be all across the board. Okay. My only complaint ever about book of the month is sometimes it's like the 15th, and I always order it on like the 30th of the month before. So.
And I think I'm just going to blame USPS for that because they deliver it through the mail. And literally every single day this week, I've had returned mail at work. One all the way back from December. And we've sent them stuff since then. I know I have. And they say it's undeliverable. I'm like, bitch, do your job.
Yeah. I've had candle stuff come back like 6 months later too. Yeah. And it looks like it has been through World War III. Like literally, it was like a little box. Smash, blah. I just refunded the person long before that. I thought it was lost, and it shows back up on my porch. I'm like, what the?
Yeah,
that's why I used to switch to UPS. It's much better.
Yeah,
FedEx sucks too.
Yeah.
Okay, should we talk about some country music lore?
Yes.
Okay.
Since the ACMs just happened.
The ACMs just happened. I don't usually watch the award shows because I find them quite boring, but I watch clips the next day. Obviously, I want to know what everyone's wearing. First and foremost, a moment for Megan Maroney's Andy Anderson dress that she wore that was like straight nod to Kate Hudson and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I'm already a Megan Maroney fan, so I was like, go off, queen. I fucking loved it. And usually blondes can't do yellow. That's my opinion. Very rarely can blondes pull off yellow because it's just too much yellow. Makes your skin look yellow. No, she killed it. Okay, so if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Ella Langley and Riley Green have a song together called You Look Like You Love Me. They've been on tour together for over 2 years probably at this point. We saw them together over a year ago, and that was not the beginning. And then they're continuing throughout this year on tour together. The song...
And they're really good friends.
They're really good friends. The song has sparked some severe romance rumors because their onstage chemistry is great. No one has actually seen them like kiss that I've seen be out in public together other than in like a platonic way with their bands and friends. Like I don't know if the lore is just hoping that they've been together. I don't know if I believe that they have or haven't. I don't really have a side that I'm on that because I haven't seen any evidence of them being together other than in a professional manner. It's obvious they're friends. Like obviously you tour
I saw
them.
A video that Ella posted, I want to say last weekend, of them together like fishing,
Mm-hmm.
and very much like brother-sister relationship, like really good friends. So
Yeah. And that could be it, and people want it
yeah,
or shipping it. You know, they're shipping
yeah,
it because they look great together. The song is cute. Their stage chemistry is good. He stands there and it's kind of like a grumpy sunshine, you know, like we're relating it to book here. So he stands there and he's real quiet, and she's like, woo! You know, she's all like crazy, hips moving, flowy. Like, I love her. I do.
yeah,
And if they are together, great. But I don't know that I believe that they've ever even been together. The internet does.
yeah.
So the drama is people think that him and Meg Maroney had a thing and he cheated on Ella. Okay. I don't know if you all remember or listened to the episodes back in the day when I was in St. Thomas and Riley Green was on St. John, which is you can see. Okay. Megan Maroney was on St. Bart's, which is a little further, but they were together. The internet put it together based on they both posted pictures. I will say this. They did admit that they were together.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Riley said something along the lines of, I was on vacation the same time as her. Of course, we met up as friends or something like that. So he admitted that.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you remember me bitching about this, but we both went to Yost Van Dyke the same day, and he was at the same bar that I was 2 hours after me. Talk about pissed off. But
Yeah.
anyways, that is neither here nor there. But I was following this. My whole point of that story is I was following this very closely because I was there. And I was like, are we going to see them? I'm like checking all their stories. Okay. He did admit that they were together. There's been no spottings. They did, before that, she came out at some music festival or event that they were both at and sang Ella's part of You Look Like You Love Me. Megan did. Look that video up. Apparently, I don't know if it was just she wasn't at the music festival and Meg was, so he brought her out on stage. I don't even know which one it was, but I definitely saw videos of it. She did a great job. They're both very talented women, okay? I don't know why we're comparing them. They're very different.
Yes.
But the lore continues with the ACMs. I'm bringing it back to the ACMs. There's a video that looks like it's right after they won a lot of awards, Riley and Ella, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 for that one song, and maybe 2. And they show Megan when Ella wins, and she looks pissed. Let's be real. I want to just play devil's advocate for a second. Those cameras are seeing on you 24/7. You may have gotten a text that pissed you off. Someone next to you may smell bad. I don't know, but like it looked, the way that it looked was that she was mad. Mm-hmm. Okay. It did not look like she had she could have though. She could have had someone next to her piss her off. It's on you all night long for 4 hours or something.
Yeah. And I mean, there is a delay, so they could have edited it to make it look like that. They could have caught her in a different moment, and she may just be like me and has RBF. So if she's not smiling, she just actively looks pissed all the time. So just you never know.
Yeah.
It's all created to make this illusion and distract us from something. So take everything 100%. With a grain of salt.
100%. Preach. The next part of this is when Ella and Riley are getting up. Ella kind of snubs Riley. So I have a video, I'll send it to you. Someone sent it to me. I took it as maybe she's really overwhelmed and was hugging people and like snubbed him. I don't know that it was beef. It could be exactly what you just said in this effect as well. But both of them together makes the internet a little sus, okay? So the plot thickens. The next night, Riley and Ella have a show together. Chemistry's on point. People are posting videos. There's no beef. Guys, see, look how great they are on stage. And then Riley is spotted, and I know it's Meg, and I'll tell you why I know it's Meg. It's her bag. She posted a video the other day singing Who's Your Daddy with her friend, which is another piece of lore we'll get to in a second. Posting, like singing Who's Your Daddy, and she has a Louis Vuitton bag. I know Louis Vuitton. I'm a fan. I spotted it and said, oh my God, that's such a cute bag. It's the same pattern that my Louis Vuitton bag is. So I distinctly connected it to something in my life, which makes me remember it. I know it is. I know what it is. Then you see a guy at the airport with a girl that's the same bag, and they look blonde, and they look an awfully lot like Riley Green and Megan Maroney. That was yesterday. ACMs, possible beef, fine with Ella, next day with Meg. Okay? And going back to the Who's Your Daddy. Ella and Riley sang Who's Your Daddy at the Toby Keith tribute. She did that video, and then she did a sound check video of her in like sweatpants with her hair all messy and stuff, singing Who's Your Daddy in sound check. So she not only sang it once, she sang it twice after the Toby Keith tribute. You want to know what I think? I think I just figured it out talking through all this. I think Ella and Riley are actually like best friends. I think Riley and Megan are either fucking or have a little thing, which, as they should. Please repopulate the earth with your superior genes. Both of you.
Yes.
Perfect babies.
Yes.
So that's great. And I think they're doing this for clout. Like, I don't necessarily think clout. I think it's a marketing scheme.
Yeah. As is everything in the publicity realm. Like, if they can monopolize on that, make money, go for it.
Off.
We're here for it. I love it.
Yeah. I love all
anything
three of
to
their
distract
music.
me.
Yeah, anything to distract me from the fact the world's falling apart.
Literally.
Three of their music, am I going to listen to it more because of this? No, I already listened to it. But are some people going to listen to it more because of this? Yeah. I'm already a fan. I'm already bought in. This is going to get more people bought in. Smart marketing.
Yes. Yes. Literally, you can see on my Apple Music, that's Mega Maroney.
You're playing
Heaven by Nan.
Yeah, great song.
Always.
Yep. I listened to Man on the Moon right before getting on this podcast. I'm a fan. And I listened to You Look Like You Love Me this morning. Hitting all three. Now, ACMs also, let's talk about this. Morgan Wallen was the second highest or highest nominated artist, as usual. Didn't fucking go. I think they did him dirty and he'll never forget it. All the award shows. He hasn't been to one since he got snubbed for everything he should have won. And even like Bobby Bones was talking about it. Like, he should have swept. But he went, got uninvited because of the whole racial slur.
Oh,
no. This was back.
This was before that, yeah.
Yeah, it was the first controversy. And he didn't go. And you know where he was? People are hating on this. He went to Ireland with Tom Brady to go golfing.
I love it.
Too. I want his level of I don't give a fuck.
He doesn't play the game, and that's why everybody is so mad. He doesn't play the game. He's not going to kiss ass. He's not going to show up and parade around his money because he doesn't care. Like, he gives his money to his foundation, his charity, and to people that need it, and to the people that invest in him. So, like, he goes out, he performs for us, like, every night. He's so dedicated, and he just wants to make good music. He doesn't care about all of the bullshit, and good for him.
Yeah, good for him. For real. He doesn't, you're right, he doesn't play the game. He was on my next point. He went on, I only saw clips of it, I haven't listened to it, Caleb Presley, which I do know that they are friends. And if any of you have ever watched a Caleb Presley interview, it's purposely awkward. He makes it awkward, and then it's laughable at the tension, right? The clip I saw, I was cackling, but he said something about SNL. And he said, you know how to fix a TV, you know, like if SNL's on? He said, I know how to turn it off.
Yeah.
And then they said, so were you mad at SNL? He said, nah, I was just ready to go home. I'd been there all week. He said, get me to God's country. He said, yeah, exactly. I was just ready to go home. Which is hilarious. His team has turned this into a marketing opportunity. They even have t-shirts and hats, and which we talked about this when it first happened before, like fresh. We were talking about how we knew that he was like fucking done and just walked off. And I love that about him. I absolutely love it. He is unapologetically himself. And I think we can all learn from that.
Yes. And then I saw a lot, 2 days ago? No, yesterday. Ostie posted on Threads and said, take my ass back to Texas, with a blue heart. So I feel like he's going to be playing at Rangers Stadium or something soon. And I'm here for that too.
Yep, we love Posty as well.
And I took a screenshot of it, and I just realized right above that is a Bryn Weaver post, and I love that.
Yeah, I love that.
Bryn Weaver and Post Malone.
Yeah. You know what we haven't talked about that we probably should briefly before we get into the book? All of the have we talked about this? Tell me if I'm wrong. All the authors canceling and telling if you voted for certain people to not read their book. Have we talked about that at all?
I think we did like right after the election briefly
Mhm.
mention it, but it was such a tumultuous time. Everybody
It's
was so
still
butthurt.
it's still happening. Like I saw it last
Yeah.
week. Novessa Allen, who is the author of Lights Out, which is like a
Hmm.
great we loved it. We covered it here on the
Yeah.
pod. She
And
has
Caught Up
another
is out
book,
soon
Caught
or
Up.
now.
I think it's out Tuesday.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
out very soon. And she's one of them who was just like, if you didn't vote for Kamala, then don't read my fucking book. Which I don't care if you do that either way. You're like cutting off half of your demographic. It's just
Yeah.
it it just rubbed me wrong.
Yeah. I think if you are so audacious that you can cut out half your demographic, maybe you deserve whatever's coming to you.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we both own small businesses. Well, not anymore. I sold mine. But in the day, back in the day, like what 2 weeks ago, I don't give a shit who anyone voted for. The money spends the same whether it comes from a Republican, Democrat, Independent, person who's not political. I don't give a
Green
shit.
Party.
Green Party, Bull Moose Party, throwing it back to Teddy Roosevelt. I'm just saying, it it
It's the
doesn't
same.
matter. Like,
Yeah.
nice people are nice people, and you shouldn't be cutting. A smart business person doesn't do shit like that. You can control your personal opinions and put them aside to make money. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that it's been 6 months and it's still happening is insane to me. Like, calm down, everyone. We're all in the book talk community. We're known to be a supporting and loving community. Let's not be like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's my TED talk for the day. Let's just be kind.
I loved on that Caleb Presley episode. Morgan walks in and he's like, "All right, I'm ready." And he's like, "Oh, you want one?" I didn't know if he'd want one.
Chair.
And it's a chair.
And then, did you see the part where he's talking about flying through the air? He's
He's
like,
like, "What?"
what flies through the air, but you can sit in it? And he's like, a jet.
He's like, "Oh, I'm slow. It's a chair. A chair can."
Died laughing. I love that he can make
I'll
fun
have
of
to link
himself.
that video.
Yeah. I love that he can make fun of himself.
Yes. When he came out, Caleb's like, "Here for the very third time."
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
Because the
And-
first time he went on, he called him Morgan Whalen. He's like,
Yeah.
"It's Wallen." He's like, "Are you sure?"
And like he called him a throat goat, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was dying about that part.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I wouldn't say that. But you can
Love
tell,
it.
like, even when he was on Theo Vaughn, you can tell
Yeah.
who he's friends with. And he just seems like this sounds, I mean, maybe people don't get it, but if you've ever lived in a small town with just a group of guys that are just friends, they're just buddies, that's what it sounds like. They're just
Yeah.
normal dudes that just happen to be super fucking famous, but like they still do all the shit that normal dudes do.
Yeah.
Which I love that him, Hardy, Ernest, Caleb Presley, Theo Vaughn, Bailey Zimmerman. Now, like, they just got like this group of just normal dudes.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, you want to talk about Great Big Beautiful Life?
Oh.
Okay, first and foremost, Queen Emily. I adore her. She's the
Yes.
best. And anything she publishes, I will read.
100.
What'd you
good,
rate
always.
this?
5.
Me too.
Yeah.
I liked
Spoilers.
this. Oh, yep, spoilers.
Yes, we are going to spoil the shit out of this because there's a very good correlation to today. So,
Yep. Yeah, it relates to today's Mother's Day, but also it's kind of funny before we dive into the nitty gritty. Tisha and I always text each other throughout reading, right? And she says it's kind of giving a different spin on the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And then I started reading it like the next day, and I was like, oh my God, it really does, but like in a completely different, not housemaid Verity type way. More of this is a different take on it and in a completely different direction. And I loved it.
Yeah.
And I didn't guess it, so that makes me love it more. We've talked about
Loved
this.
it, yeah.
If I can't figure it out, it's a 10.
Yeah. I didn't guess the Cecil connection.
Yeah, that was good.
Loved it.
Loved it, yeah, for sure. When they first figured out Cecil, I will say, I thought that he was going to be her lover.
I did too.
That was where my mind, which I think is what
Yeah.
she wanted you to do.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Love it.
all in all, Emily Henry's not usually like a big reveal person. She's more
Mm-mm.
of a like rom-com breakup, get back together in the end. So the fact that this was kind of like, I don't want to say a mystery, but it also
Hmm.
like had that aspect of like what's going on here. I love how she did that. It shows she has a more dynamic skill set than we've seen in her other books, in my opinion.
Yeah, it gave very much just the only thing that comes to mind is Jennifer Barnes because my son's reading the Inheritance Games right now.
Yeah.
And so it gave kind of that, like you said, kind of air of mystery. We don't really know the connections, but we know there's obviously love and there's a family relationship somehow.
Yeah, and I will say one thing I liked about this unreliable narrator is
Yes.
a fun. I've only read one book that I would say has like a truly unreliable narrator, and that was The Fury by Alex Michaelides, also a phenomenal
Yes.
author. But I kind of got a little bit of that here because very clearly you couldn't trust what she was saying, or she was being purposely evasive.
Hmm.
Oh, leaving things out or avoiding certain things and saying something else, and she had to keep like going back to put the pieces together. So that's kind of fun too, that unreliable narrator aspect. What did you think of the dual timelines and like all the different perspectives?
In parts, it was kind of hard to piece it together and make it make sense, but as a whole, it made it a lot more interesting. It kept my attention, so it helped to keep going.
Yeah, one thing I would have liked was would have been some more perspective from Hayden. That's his name, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, Hayden. Um, if we would have had a bouncing back and forth of hearing Margaret's story, that probably would have given it away earlier. But I think that would have kind of been fun. Not that the book wasn't perfect, but that's just a thought. Would have been a little
Yeah.
fun. What did you think of the whole like Cosmo? I felt like it was like Elvis. They were trying to play like he was like the Elvis of the time.
Yeah, I felt very Elvis, Johnny Cash. He's the superstar, but gets kind of wrapped up in the fame and very much struggles when it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that made it very clear. Like, why do they hate me? And she obviously being the difference of like this is a big element in this book is being born into what we call like the trends right now are old money versus new money. Like you see people dress a certain way and they say that's old money. You see people dress a different kind of way. That's new money. That's crypto money. Like that's
Yeah.
literally a trend on the internet. And that's what my mind kept going to like, okay, she's old money. She's used to the press and she was born. She knows it comes and goes in waves and like she doesn't let it get to her. And he obviously wasn't born into that. He got his fame, was so loved. So when he wasn't, like I think he took it very personal
Hmm.
and obviously struggled with that. But another thing was they talked Cosmo up to be like this great guy, but there was vibes I got in there that like he cheated on her because she even said if he brought people back like I didn't know about. So there's a part of me that's like, okay, so she knows he's kind of off on tour cheating on her and she didn't really care.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, that's what he did to her. He brought her back to the
Yeah.
dressing room. And so she's like, well, maybe he did, but I never knew about it. And I didn't want to know, basically. She's like, I didn't want to dive into that because I would break my own heart. Like, why?
Hmm. Yeah. I get that. I really do. Ignorance is
Yeah.
bliss. Once you know, you can never unknow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I liked that the we were going back and forth between her telling her story and then Hayden and Alice obviously falling in love, which like that was very much Grumpy Sunshine. Like
Yes.
the epitome of Grumpy Sunshine. But he fell, I don't know, Grumpy kind of fell first. Maybe.
Yeah.
He was like into it. Also, I don't trust anyone who thinks snoring is relaxing like a sound machine. I
No.
can't. I can't not.
No.
If my husband snores, which only happens when he's sick, and I only snore when I'm sick, when you have breathing problems, I think everybody probably does, I will kick him. Shut up. I can't do it. Go somewhere else. I cannot handle snoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about Grumpy Sunshine, like the different personalities. You know what I really, really liked about Alice's character? I liked that she saw the best in everyone. I have a hard time doing that. I'm a
Same.
very positive person where I'm like, okay, like this all gonna work out, it's gonna be fine. But I have zero faith in pretty much anyone. And I don't
Yeah.
have any like traumatic story to say why. It's
Yeah.
just my brain works like I expect the worst, maybe so that I'm pleasantly surprised. No trauma, no one was terrible to me about it. Nothing crazy. That's just how my brain is wired. And it's nothing against anyone around me. I mean nothing by it. But it's just how I think. And she is the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that about her.
Yeah, because she's not obnoxious about it. She's not like when everybody else is doom and gloom, she's like, oh, it's all sunshine and roses.
Yeah.
She can be realistic, but she's also just very optimistic and happy.
She has like everyone has a reason for the way that they are, which I like.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe I learned something from her here. People don't just be dicks for no reason. People aren't quiet for no reason. Like, you know what I mean? There's always a why behind the way
Yeah.
people are. And she was big about, which, okay, this is why she's a writer, journalist style person.
Hmm.
She like digs into the why. And that's really cool. The competition piece of it was fun. I feel like they
Hmm.
both kind of near the end just didn't really care about the job. It more became
Yeah.
about each other and their
Yeah.
personal struggles.
Yeah. I think they definitely both wanted answers, but they didn't want it at the expense of the other person. So
Yeah.
that says a lot about their relationship.
Yeah, and how much let's talk about how fast it occurred. Like they met and then they were almost I don't want to call it insta love, but insta connection, attraction.
Hmm.
And I feel like it progressed very quickly within, a couple weeks of them being in denial that they're in love with each other. I mean,
Yeah.
he finally says it. She wants to but doesn't. So,
Yeah. Yeah. He's
um
like, don't say anything.
yeah, and
Like,
even the
but I
fact that
want to.
right, and Margaret was setting her up to talk poorly about him. She was like, I don't know if I can trust that other guy, blah, blah. This is her competition. And she says, no, you can trust him. Number one, that showed Margaret her character, that she
Hmm.
respected her competition. And number two, that helped Margaret understand her grandson.
Hmm.
And she thought her grandson hated her when in reality, he's just kind of a grumpy gloom kind of guy. Like he's not,
Yeah.
and really he isn't. He just seems very like professional, quiet,
Hmm.
but it could come off as like, if you're comparing him to Alice, complete disinterest.
Yeah. And I think he's kind of standoffish because he was already on alert because they reached out to him. So, like, that was
Hmm.
a whole aspect exact opposite from hers because she was on the hunt for her. So, she was talking to people and she was asking questions and she was very much digging into Margaret and her past and her family. And he's like, this is not my reality. They found me, so I don't know why.
Yeah. And also, I think he had some trauma from the last one that he did where he won the Pulitzer and they died because he talked
Mhm.
about how close they were. And so maybe he was being a little bit more guarded with her to protect
Yeah.
himself from that happening again. That's kind of where my head went with it.
Yeah, because he said a lot of these people reach out to me in the end of their life. They know they're sick and they just want to tell their story. So I could see that it was hard for him, like you said, to kind of let that guard down and make a connection because he got so close to the previous one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you do. You spend every day with them. It's like coworkers. You end up spending more time with
Yeah.
certain coworkers than you do your family because you're
Yeah.
at work more than you're home. And when you're home, you're sleeping
Yeah. Or cleaning or cooking.
or listening to audiobooks. We already kind of talked about the twist. I feel like 2020, obviously hindsight's 2020. I
Hmm.
should have figured it out when he said they reached out to me, which is when you figured it out.
Hmm.
But I knew there was going to be a connection. I'm not stupid. I've read 100 books. I read
Yeah.
way more than 100 books. I've read a lot of books. It was going to be her for some reason. I thought someone planted a breadcrumb
Hmm.
clue trail for her, which somebody did, really.
Yeah.
But I thought it was because she was connected somehow, not because they were trying to make it more realistic for Hayden to come.
I had just inkling of a moment that I was really scared that they were related.
Me too! Me too! I was like, Emily, don't do this to us! Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad it all worked out. And they
Yeah,
weren't
no,
related.
yeah, how it worked out was great, honestly.
Yes.
And then her repairing her relationship with her mom, which ties into the whole Mother's Day theme here, is so many aspects are going on at the same time. Like Hayden with meeting his grandmother, who happens to be
Hmm.
one of the most famous people of all time, and like her thinking they have this curse, and he said the same thing about the limelight and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then her having this strained relationship with her mother because her mother seems so indifferent. We're going to relate it to a Megan Maroney song. Seems so indifferent and just like she could give a shit less, but it's really just because she
Yeah.
doesn't know what to say, and they just
Yeah.
have to like talk through that. I think everyone kind of healed, and it all like came full circle. But there was a lot of journeys that we were following
Yes.
with the twists and clues and stuff. So she did a really nice job of planting breadcrumbs, but also still making it kind of a big reveal at the end.
Yeah. It was really nice.
And then the island sounds so cute. I want to go there. Like, you have all the money in the world and you choose a random little island in Georgia. Cool. Hope there's a
That's the dream.
lighthouse. Yeah.
And I want to meet Cecil with
Cecil,
his
like,
little gap tooth.
yeah, I think he's probably the coolest captain. I want one of those fish bowls, captain's bowls. That sounds like my
Yeah.
kind of drink.
Yes. Very blue.
Um, Very blue, very fun. Kind of sounds like an adios motherfucker, and I have PTSD about those from Dixon Street. Arkansas people, if you
Yeah.
know, you know.
Yes.
um. Okay. Anything else you want to add? I feel like we hit my major talking points.
I didn't really take any notes because it was really short. Oh,
It was
um,
really short.
Emily Henry has to be a Cranberries fan because I want to say this is the second or third book where she's mentioned a Cranberries song playing or lyrics or something.
You're right. Yeah, she
I
has to
love that.
be.
That was the
I
only note
know.
I took.
She gets back in her car and it was jamming Cranberries.
Yeah.
The Cranberries song, whatever. I don't know if it said what song, but no, I agree with you. I definitely, yeah, this was a perfect quick read after being divulged into Throne of Glass for 8 weeks. So it was a good
Yes.
palate cleanser, refresher, solid read. Emily Henry, as we said, you are a queen. We're big fans.
Yes.
Um, Definitely everyone, if you listen to this and you haven't read it, it's spoiled, but you should read it anyways. Great book.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So tune in next week because we are going to do conspiracy theories for sure. We both picked two. Like I said, I've picked one for sure, and I'm debating between the other two. Very controversial, but maybe it'll either throw us into the limelight or get us canceled, which also throws us into the limelight. So who knows?
It's a
But
win-win. It's a win-win.
yeah, but obviously that's not why we're doing it. But we're gonna have a little presentation, present all the facts for you, and let you make your decision. At least one of them for each of us is something that we will die on the hill for, and the other is just fun. So,
It's just for fun.
so follow us on our socials: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.